Anyway, that's where we were heading this one day. So we all packed up. We're in Beatty, Nevada, which is the Burrow Inn. I can tell you that's where we always hold up at. And we take off from there every morning to go do the AM and the PM push. That's what you call it when the war is on. You call it the push. So we had one in the morning called AM push, one in the afternoon PM push. So we were all heading up for the AM push in a convoy. There's 3 vehicles, probably about 3 to 4 people per vehicle. I'm in the lead vehicle with the ranking guy. He's driving, and I'm right behind him. And then there's another gentleman in the passenger seat across from the driver, and then there's a young lady next to me. And we're all going up. And the ranking guy had been there the week before, and he had seen the craft fly by, because that one's out there on the internet. You can pull down the video. There's a report that goes along with it.
There's a video that we can watch right now?
Right now, yeah.
What would he search?
Jamie, pull that up.
Search for, let me think, Nellis Test Range UFO 1990.
Not now, Mom! Not now, Mom! Come on, Mom! Not now! Jason Sands is giving us the details about the aliens. Yeah!
4.
Dun, dun, dun. Who filmed this?
This was filmed by the operators on the range, because we're putting these pilots in a risky situation by playing war with them, but we're training them. So if there is any kind of a mishap or a pilot or plane goes down, everything needs to be recorded. So they
This
have
is it right here?
Yes. So this video is being taken by one of these cameras that's up on the range. And along the bottom, you see that this is also trying to lock on to the craft, so it can, follow it as it goes.
Okay, so your encounter, did it happen recently or back in 1994? I'm assuming based off of this, then it happened closer to this date, right? Because you're talking about the prequel that was actually recorded, so we're getting a prequel right now. Okay, I'm hyped for the sequel. I want to get the sequel.
In and out, because this is the kind of way that you want to track if there's a craft that is having problems. And
This is moving very erratically.
Right. So this is what the ranking guy saw.
Can I pause you for a second? This tracking, is this manual, or is this like some sort of an automated system?
It's an automated system.
So the automated system is having a hard time
locking on
to it.
Yeah, if it locks on, you'll see a big spike, and that means that it finally locks on. Right now it's trying to, but something is stopping it from locking on. Cool. And they think it was the craft.
And it's moving like crazy, side to side, all over.
There's actually a recording that goes with it where you hear the guys going, "Hey, does anybody know what this is? What's going on here?"
Can we hear that?
Brother, please!
Okay, the sound is terrible.
Yeah.
They need better mics.
Honestly, that's the way it sounds when you're working up there. But anyway.
I'm sure, but he's saying, what is that?
Yo, ship this Shure SMB microphone right now immediately to the past, back to the 1994, May.
That I don't know.
Only if that was possible, right? Or perhaps it is. You never know, right? You never know. But nah. Yeah, thoughts on time traveling? Because that's also a subject that we can dive into in the future as well, if you guys are down. Because, yeah, time traveling, in a way, it's possible in space, on different planets. If you, for example, Interstellar, if you've seen Interstellar, that's always one of those examples. If you spend time closer to a black hole or planet that's distant, time will be a lot more slower there. Yeah, in Interstellar, it was like 1 hour on that planet would be 7 years on Earth. Yeah, crazy. Of course, that was exaggerated, or perhaps not. It's one of those things, right? Like, if you go crazy far, then maybe it's gonna be like that. It's one of the theory, right, I guess, but on a realistic side of things. But yeah, time traveling in that aspect, it's possible. And also there's another time traveling method where you can put your clock, and this is baffling, I don't even know how that works, but scientists talk about it, right? That you put your clock on Earth and then you put it on a fast moving plane on Earth, and there would be some difference in the clocks, the time. It wouldn't be exactly the same, which is, in other words, time traveling, but not in a sense of how we assume time traveling would be, where you go back in time, you kill your grandparents, and does that mean that you're gonna be then killed? Because if you kill your grandparents, that means your parents wouldn't be alive, and then if your parents are not alive, how would you be alive? It's like a paradox kind of situation. So yeah, so how does that work? No clue, fellas, no clue, man, no clue.
We're having a hard time locking onto it.
Right. This is the video operator. So the following week after this happens, this video is taken. The ranking guy who had been there the week before and saw this thing flying, he takes us in this. When you go on the range through this one gate here, it goes up a little ways, and then there's a cantonment area. It's got a very small place where you can change your tires, get gas. Just minor maintenance to get your butt home if you have a car that's busted. And then in the back of that cantonment area, there's 2 huts that look like campers, really, glorified campers. So the video operators are in the one that's off to the northeast of the cantonment, and in the very corner of it. And the ranking guy just says, we all have to go in here. We're going to go talk to the video operators. We have to do this. And this was because the week prior, everybody came back to garrison, or back to our unit, and they had seen this thing, and they were all talking about this UFO. So we go in there, and there's the video operator. He has us all write our names down, whether we were there and saw it the first week or not. Then he makes us all sit down and watch that video. And he says, do you know what this is? And we're like, no.
Uh-oh.
And then he just said, okay, thank you. And then we, after everybody that was there saw it and wrote their name down, we were allowed to leave. And that was all that was required. And so I was like, well, what was that all about? But then as I'm exiting, this lady that had been sitting against the wall on the far part of the this little hut that we were in, and she like grabs my arm and she just says, there's somebody on the range, don't talk to him. And she was really, really freaked out. And I'm like, thanks, strange, freaky lady, got it. And I'm like, whatever. So we all hop out, we get in the vehicles, and then start taking off towards Quartz Mountain, because right at that cantonment area, there's a hard right. There's a hard right that goes off to Quartz Mountain. And about a mile, half a mile to a mile down that road, it's all dirt road up, by the way, there's this guy. It looks like he's wearing a uniform like we are. He got battle dress uniform on. He sees us and he starts to
say psych. Okay, so I'm assuming the guy that he just saw was not a guy, was an alien, right? I'm assuming. I have not seen it, but we're checking it out live. And I've read comments, and people are saying this is that dude, trust me guy, final boss. People are memeing around a lot. And of course, I mean, if you're gonna make extraordinary claims, you gotta back it up with extraordinary evidence too. It's one of those things, but let's continue.
It looked like he's running, and he's got this really weird run, like his arms are kind of flailing behind him. It's like he was running against a hurricane wind, and it was like he was gonna fall over at any time. And I was like, yeah, it's a bit windy today, but it ain't that bad. So it looked really strange, and then I began to notice his skin tone looked like he might be hypothermic. And I'm thinking, oh crap, this dude's been out here. It's freaking freezing out here, because it was a very cold day, and the wind was blowing. It was, those cold days where it didn't matter how many layers you had on. And so as we're getting closer, I'm talking to the ranking guy. Hey, we need to slow down. So anyway, I'm thinking, this guy's probably in big trouble. I need to pull off my jacket. I need to give him something to get warm real quick. So I'm starting to do that, and we're approaching, and by the time I get my jacket most of the way off, he's right there at the corner of the front of the car. And
so he looks pale? Is that what you're saying?
He looked like an albino with a very bluish kind of undertone. If you could imagine,
So you're assuming you're immediately associating that with he's freezing.
Yeah, because that's all I could equate it.
Okay, so far, if true, I mean, okay, I can make sense of that if perhaps the skin tone was a little pale-ish, a little bluish, kind of, right, and the weather is freaking cold, then you would assume, yeah, it's probably the wind, probably the weather, perhaps, right? But looks like that was not the case.
Too, right. And then as I'm starting to open my door to try to, administer aid to this guy, the dude in the front passenger seat screams he's got no ears. And I thought that was pretty rude, because I was like the guy's in trouble.
Does he have a hat on? Does he have
He's got a hat on, and he's got BDUs that look absolutely clean, pristine. And when you're uprange, you do not wear your cleanest uniform.
I'm not an alien. That's my proof right there. Okay, I'm a Homo sapien. Okay, don't ever say that I'm an alien. Okay, I'm on my planet. I'm on my home planet. These suckers need, yeah, bro. Like, but that's the thing, man. If aliens ever come here, or they have been here, is what we always hear, right? I feel like that Trump's gonna deport them to their galaxy, so no biggie.
In a dirty environment, you wear your scuffed up boots, you don't take them with you.
So he's got clean battle dress uniform.
Everything.
United States military
very out of
uniform
place.
on.
Yeah, it looks very out of place when I finally
What
do
the
it. But
hell?
anyway, I step out onto the roadway.
He also got, okay, battle dress uniform, United States military dress on. What the hell? Or not dress on, okay, that's bad. But he had like military outfit on, that uniform on. That, what? Say psych right now. So he was trying to act like one of us. He brother was trying to fit in. Is that what you're saying?
Military
Very out of
uniform
place.
on.
Yeah, it looks very
Bro was
out of
trying to
place
fit
when I finally do it. But anyway, I step out onto the roadway, and this guy screams that he's got no ears. And I just thinking it's really rude. And then I close the door and I look up and he's got no freaking ears. And his eyes are twice as big. And I just am like, yeah, what the hell did I just walk into? This guy's not from around
How
here.
far away from him are you?
Probably from me to
Just a few
Logan.
feet.
Yeah, just talking distance.
Okay.
And I'm starting to freak out. But then he starts to talk to me, and it's not my language, but it's coming to the understanding is like coming into my mind about every word he's saying.
So he's actually saying words.
He's saying words, but it doesn't sound like anything I've heard before.
But you're under.
And this is one of those things, right? And the theories have always been like, okay, so what language do they speak? English? Nah, I don't think they're gonna speak English, is what people have been saying. Telepathic communication has always been brought up, and recently, you know, that eyes wide open guy, Jake Barber. Bruh. So Jake Barber has the guy that came out with the UAP, the X-ship UFO recently. He also claimed that he was possessed by one of the entity that he felt like was feminine, and he felt like that the entity was good. His words, not my opinion. So yeah, psionic abilities and whatnot. So it's been assumed that it would be telepathic communication, but if they have a mouth, I feel like that mouth is definitely gonna make some sounds. So maybe some of the alien races do speak a language, and if they do, I mean, let's be objective here. I don't think they're gonna be able to speak English though, or perhaps they're really advanced to the point where they're gonna be able to, once they hear us talk for a little bit, maybe they can adapt and learn that way. Perhaps they're smart like that. Perhaps they got their own version of Neuralink installed in their brain, the brain chips and all that. Perhaps that's the case. Now, this is why I brought this up earlier on in the video. Wait for it. This is why I brought this up, okay? And I feel like I would have to make a dedicated video because otherwise we're gonna be here for an hour. Some of you may love it, but I got my non-existent digital dog to feed, all right? So no, I cannot make a super long video, but I will make a video on it because it's been claimed that the X-ship UFO also had these hieroglyphs, Egyptian. It looked like, not necessarily, but it looked like Egyptian hieroglyphs and some Japanese words, is what people in the know are saying. It looked like. It does not mean that these are Egyptian hieroglyphs or Japanese symbols. One guy also said that one of the letters felt like it was a letter from the English language, an English alphabet. But again, it doesn't mean that it is. It just looked to us like it, if that makes sense. So I'll make a dedicated video on it. It was very, very fascinating. So let's continue.
Understanding what he's saying.
But I'm understanding. So I know there's a telepathic thing going on here, and it calms me down.
Understanding words.
He's saying words, but it doesn't sound like anything I've heard before.
But you're understanding what he's saying.
But I'm understanding. So I know there's a telepathic thing going on here, and it calms me down at the same time because I'm having to respond to him. And he's like, hello, I'm having trouble with my craft. I need some repair material. Do you know where I could find some tritium? And this is what he's talking to me about. And I'm like, you mean titanium? Because I didn't know anything about tritium at the time. But titanium, he's like, no, it's not it. And I'm like, well, at this point, in my career, I had just left the program.
So you're saying that an alien came up to you and he was like, "Hey, bro, hey, sup, bruh, sup, dude? You know anything about the tritium?" Is that how you say it? And I googled that before the video because people were saying that in the comment section. Tritium is a radioactive isotope of hydrogen that emits beta radiation. So you're saying an alien came up to you and asked you about that on a cold ass day. Interesting.
So I knew where Dreamland point in my career, I had just left the program. So I knew where Dreamland was, and I pointed to the mountain range because you can see for days in the desert. But I pointed towards the mountain range and I said, Dreamland's just over there. And this wave of emotion hit me like disgust, like I am not going to talk to those barbarians and murderers. You know. And
wow, so he was saying that to you, like his reaction to going to the military base was...
Exactly, yeah. He did not like it. He said, I am not going to talk to those people. And then I was like, well, shoot.
And it was barbarians and murderers?
He literally, that was what he called them, yes. Oof. And mentally, that's what it was. But the emotion...
Tritium, is this a real thing?
Well, that's what... I've had a lot of friends. There's analysts also that were on the top secret network that were trying to help me understand what material...
We were throwing everything at him. We're like, is it this? Is it this? And he's
and then
like,
finally,
no.
That's the one. When they hit Tritium, I was like, that's what it was.
Tritium.
That's what he said.
Okay, maybe I googled the wrong one. Because I was reading comments, right, before, and people were talking about, hey, bro, sup, bro? So an alien came up and asked you about tritium. But maybe this is maybe this is how you pronounce it, tritium. Okay, let me do that right now. Trin. I added trin. Okay, so it's correcting me to tritium. Okay, I believe it's tritium, or maybe you pronounce it trintium like that. Perhaps, could be wrong. But tritium is a byproduct of nuclear reactors, including CANDU reactors in Canada. Tritium is produced during nuclear weapon explosions. Sheesh. Liquid scintillation, I guess, counting. Tritium can be measured using liquid scintillation counting, LSC. Ooh. Do I know what's that? Absolutely not. Any scientists watching this video, let us know, man. Twitter detectives.
What is tritium?
It's a type of, well, can he bring it up on the...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Jamie, pull that up.
It should pop up on Wikipedia.
Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah, pretty quick. But
pretty quick.
It has some properties that probably would work.
But are you saying tritium?
Yeah, tritium is
tritium.
That's the stuff that's in loom, like in your watch when your watch glows. That's you know they make those where they're basically like radioactive isotopes that stay lit. So like if you get like a marathon watch. Right. Marathon makes military watches, and it doesn't need like this watch. You need the light, and the light charges the loom, and then when it's dark out, you could read the hands for like a few hours.
It's the thing that they used to put on the end of the guns, right?
Exactly, they still do. A lot, like SIG has them.
Look up tritium. Also, put an end in there.
Just a lot.
I did that. That's not giving me much.
So tritium, chunky glow in the dark glitter. What is that?
Oh, these are all like. These are game websites.
Oh, I see.
I don't know.
Okay, so it's tritium, then I may be mispronouncing.
But tritium that's that radioactive isotope.
Mm-hmm.
That's the stuff that emits light.
Yep.
So it emits a weak form of radiation.
Yes.
A rare radioactive isotope of hydrogen with a half-life of 12.3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So this is what he's asking me for.
So he's asking you for that stuff? Tritium?
Yep. And I'm like...
Okay, so if that's real, right, let's just assume that for a second. What in the world? Why would an alien come up and assume that this gentleman would have that? Like, bro, what do you think that is? Come on, man. Like, he may have like some donuts. Ask him about donuts or something like that. He may have that. But tritium, you crazy, you loco. I want to actually read you some comments and we're going to get back to it. My intergalactic spaceship is broken down. Can I have some tritium? Wow, he got the Dudley Boys. Okay, I don't get that reference. But Blue Alien walked up, scratching himself like Tyrone Bigham's. Man, y'all got any more of that tritium? I appreciate Joe's willingness to listen to everyone's story with a straight face. Jamie, pull that clip up of a bear eating an alien. Wait, what? Bro was smoking tritium. AI creates a realistic image of handsome Squidward in a military cap, and he's essentially talking about this. Yeah, so crazy if true, guys. Crazy if true.
Like, I don't know where to get.
Oh, look at that. It's used in boosted fission weapons and thermonuclear weapons. Oh, great.
That sounds pretty sure, right?
I wonder what the fuck it's doing on your wrist. Is there anybody?
This is what the best image that we have of what he could have looked like.
Oh, boy.
Oh, damn.
Can you send that to Jamie?
Yeah, I don't know Jamie's number, but we'll find a way to.
Jamie, give your number to him right now.
Yeah.
That's an order.
Is that an iPhone?
If I had my phone, I would, but it's out there, I think.
Yeah, airdrop it to Jamie.
Airdrop
Do you know how to do that?
There was that
I do
one.
not know how to do
Oh,
that.
and there's a
Your guy
three-dimensional.
works with UFOs. You better know how to do that.
Well, there's a three-dimensional image of the craft as well that is really spot on from what I saw that day.
Yeah.
Because not only did I see this guy running towards us and talking to him, but off the shoulder on the north side of the roadway, that's where the craft was just resting on the desert floor. And I got a really good look at it at that point. And this guy did a 3D rendering of the description, and it's spot on as I've ever seen. It's almost perfect.
So he asks you for tritium. You tell him this is what it looked like.
This is what the guy looked like. Pretty close to it.
Yo.
The nose was a little bit rounder on the end, but that was a really good rendition. But yeah, his eyes almost came out to here on the temple.
Wow. And that would freak me out.
Have you ever in your life come across a man or a woman with eyes wide open like that? Don't say Jake Barber. Come on, guys. But somebody you encounter in real life, maybe walking around the streets or in a metro, subway, maybe eating some good old McDonald's, maybe getting those fries, perhaps, getting those hamburgers. Yeah, like genuinely, have you ever? I personally have never. I mean, yeah, some people do have big eyes. That's normal, but maybe that's not so normal. Perhaps, right? We assume it's normal, but perhaps not. But never came across weirdly big eyes, right? I never have yet. But it's interesting, right? Because if you believe him, you believe him. If you don't believe him, you don't believe him. I want to know where you guys are at with this story. Compelling for sure. But do you really want to believe? Personally, I need more evidence before I start believing the man. But my point that I'm trying to make here is that, yeah, Canadian Defense Minister that came out prior, right? He was also talking about, and we also had other whistleblowers that also did say that, yeah, some of these alien twats are very much closer to us in terms of the looks. And in a way, yeah, maybe it would make sense, because when you think about it, like on our Earth, right? We have so many different races, so many different ethnicities, and we all look different. But we also have for example, we got white people, we got brown people, we got black people, we got yeah, that's pretty much it, right? And we got Chinese people, Chinese, Japanese, Korean. They look very similar as well. Not trying to be racist, just it's a fact, okay? It's a fact. So we have so many different races, ethnicities as well. We all look different as well, but we got our races and different ethnicities. So I'm assuming, like, if these alien twats exist, they're probably gonna have their races and different ethnicities perhaps too, right? And maybe some of them may look closer to us. I mean, all the pictures that you see, even of the gray aliens, they have similarities. They have properties. For example, fingers. We also heard 3-finger aliens as well, but at least they got 3 fingers. We got 5, but at least they got 3, right? We heard that they got small nose, small mouth, but they got a mouth, they got a small nose. They got big eyes. Hey, they got eyes just like us, but they're different. You see what I mean, right? And all the animals as well that we have on our own planet, they also have like eyes, nose, ears, mouth. Perhaps not arms, but you get the point, right? So there's so many different breeds of different animals. For example, like I heard this number, there are 6,000 different breeds of bees alone. 6,000 different bees. Can you believe that? It's insane, man. And what they tell us is, yeah, man, there are billions of galaxies, and in each galaxy there are billions of planets, and we're in the Milky Way galaxy, and there are billions of planets. in this galaxy alone, and then there are billions of other galaxies. Mathematically speaking, just think about it this way, right? Like how many different ethnicities and races that we have of people on this planet. Couple that up with dogs. Got so many different breeds of dogs, so many different breeds of cats. You got the marine life, right? And 6,000 different bees. You got other mosquitoes. You got other the plants. The trees are even alive as well. Of course, they cannot move. But the point that I'm trying to get at is just mathematically speaking, okay? Mathematically speaking, it's just impossible for us to be alone. Mathematically speaking. And I would like to also assume that perhaps some of them do look like us. I want to know your thoughts for sure on this one.
It freaked me out. I mean, honestly, I'm not an easy guy to get freaked out, but that really put that, like you just saw an alligator pop up out of the water kind of thing.
Right. So when you tell him go to Dreamland, it says I'm not going to go where those murderers and barbarians are, and then what happens?
And he said no. So I was like, well, where else can I possibly point him to? Because I'm like, I don't know any metallurgists or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking to myself, and I relayed to him. I said, well, I'm taking college classes down in the city of Vegas, Las Vegas, at the community college. But I have a geophysical professor that I'm taking a class from. Maybe he has a metallurgist friend, and he's like,
so you're thinking at this time though it's a metal.
I am, yes.
Right, because you're thinking it's some kind of like titanium, some type of...
Right. And there's also when he...
This is the 3D image of what the craft looks
like?
That
is almost as spot on as I've ever seen. That is about it right there. That's almost exactly what I saw resting on the desert floor.
Sheesh.
And so you're trying to find different people that you can connect this being to.
Yeah.
And what is it saying to you while you're...
He thought that was a good idea, I think, or he was like, I mean, made him... He had that kind of... and he wanted to take action, so he doesn't really even say goodbye. He just kind of turns and off he goes back to his craft. Right. And I'm thinking, well, okay. And I get back in the car, and sometime during that conversation with this entity, I remembered looking over at my friends in the car, and they had the weirdest look on their face, like they were all zonked out, totally zombied, like they couldn't even... They were just drooling on themselves.
Were they just because they were flabbergasted, or was it because something was going on?
Well, I figured out that maybe it was done by this entity because none of them seemed to even remember the incident. Only a few people seems to remember that we stopped, that we had talked to somebody on the roadway, but it was mainly the people that were in the back of the convoy.
So they didn't see it up close like you did?
Right, like we did. The people that were
how far away would they be?
They'd probably be a good 2 car lengths behind us.
That's still enough to detect whether or not someone looks blue, though, right?
Correct, and that's probably what they saw. But you know me, I'm kind of wide and I'm big. I was very muscular back then.
And you're standing in front of this thing.
So they'd have a difficult time because this guy stood about a good half foot shorter than me. And so they probably could see his arms from time to time, maybe catch a glimpse of his face.
So he's saying that he basically hid the view, so people were behind him. The alien was in front of him, and he was muscular, big, tall, wide, extra, beefed up. Therefore, people behind him could not see the alien? Okay. Yeah. I don't know, man. But that's the thing, man. What if it's true, bro? What if it's true? Now, of course, I'm a believer that we're not alone, right? But is this story genuine? I couldn't tell you, man. I couldn't tell you, but it's fascinating for sure.
Face or something. So they probably didn't get a very good view because if you're looking at me, I'm standing right next to my door, and they're behind me, kind of almost obfuscated by just the angle that they're looking at him. So all the windows are tinted in those vehicles.
Guys, check out this video on the screen. Now, this video that you're seeing on the screen right now, it's fascinating because there are images and videos of that thing, and apparently it's a very famous incident of an alien that crash landed and the government captured it and people saw it. Check out this video on the screen and I'll see you right there.